I'm Sebastian, and this is from Mrs. Mann'c, and I'm reading I Need My Monster by Noll. Tonight, when I looked under my bed for a monster, I found this instead. Gone fishing back in a week. Gabe. What was I going to do? I need a monster on my bed. How was I supposed to get to sleep if my monster was gone? I tried to sleep, but it wasn't the same without Gabe. I missed his ragged breathing, his noise whistling, the scrambling of his uncut claws. How would I ever get to sleep without Gabe's familiar scary noises and his spooky green ooze? It was no use. Gabe would be gone in a week. I just had to have a monster. I climbed quietly out of bed so my parents couldn't hear me. Grown-ups have some strange ideas about monsters under beds. I knocked on the floorboards, then scrambled back under my covers. I waited nervously. When a new monster appeared, what would he be like? Would his snorting be as cheerful as Gabe's? When I heard something creaking under my bed, I knew the substitute monster had arrived. Good evening, said a low, breathy voice. My name is Herbert, and I will be your monster for the evening. Herbert? What kind of name is that for a monster? You don't sound scary at all. Have you ever scared a kid before? Well, no, but I have read the best books on the topic. Do you have long teeth and scary claws? I asked. No, but I have an overbite, and I'm a mouth breather. Listen. Herbert panting was kind of scary, but it wasn't enough for me. Listen, Herbert, I'm sorry. I just don't think this is going to work out. Nothing personal, but I really need a monster with claws. Picky, Herbert complained. And you wish, I'll go. There was some more creaking, then Herbert was gone. Some scratching warned me that a second monster had appeared. Good evening, he said in a high, silky voice. My name is Ralph. I understand you need a monster with claws. If you'd please lean over, I would hold an arm for inspection. I crouched up to the edge of my bed, hoping to see a horrible, shaggy arm with sharp, ragged nails. Instead, I was surprised to see silky brushed fur with smooth, shining claws. Excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, I asked. But is that nail polished on your claws? Yes. Yes, it is, Wolf replied. I believe professional monsters should always be well groomed. I could tell that this was not going to work. Either I'm sorry to point to you, Ralph. When I need a monster with scary claws, like Gabe's, I thought. He heard some more scratching, and I knew Ralph was gone. Poof. A minute later, a third voice from under the bed rasped, "Check out these claws, kid. These claws, kid." I gathered my courage and peered over the edge. The claws were impressive, jagged and dark and razor sharp. So far, so good. I was a little nervous. Could you stick out your tail? I whispered. Sure, but don't get scared. I peeked through my fingers at the slimy slivering over the foot of my bed. That's when I noticed the bow. Are you a girl monster? Of course I am, she snapped. I'm Cynthia. Do you have a problem with that? Yeah. admit I definitely need a boy monster. Boy monster for boys, girl monster for girls. Everybody knows that. Why don't you pick you one? She sniffed. Then she was gone. I was beginning to picky. Was I being too picky? No. I knew I need the monster we well call up and menacing. The whole point of having a monster, after all, was to keep me in bed imagining all the scary stuff that could happen if I got out. Then I heard shuffling noise and some slobbering. A fourth monster was under my bed. Hey kid, name's Mann'c. The name's Mann'c. One look at the claws proved that Mann'c was a big, scruffy boy. Monster, I shivered. Maybe this one would work out. Noise, excellent claws, but do you have a long tail? I leaned over to see. No, my tail is slumpy. Back slurp, but I do have an unusual long tongue. Why do you be afraid of a long tongue? I asked. I don't know, he said, trying to sound terrifying. You never know. I might lick you. I fell by the bed laughing. Oh. Well, if you're not going to try to work with me, Mann'c whined. I held my gills. I really don't think you should send me away. He warned kids who reject 5 monsters in one night. I did not reject 5 monsters tonight. I interrupted. My regular monster went fishing. Fishing? Huh? Maybe he just left because you're so picky. Fine, I'm out of here. But I wouldn't expect another monster to try and fire you. How was I ever going to get to sleep without my monster? I was surprised to hear more creaking under my bed. Loud creaking was scratching. I thought no more monsters were gonna appear tonight. I said, sorry, I'm late, kid. It was Gabe. I thought I'd enjoy fishing, but I didn't. He explained. Those fish were scared too easily. No challenge at all. You, however, are challenging, my friend. You're almost all to be afraid of monsters. You keep me up on the toes, oh toes. A delicious snack. The bed quivered and Gabe's stomach rumbled with hunger. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to start the evening with an ominous puddle of drool. I peeked over the edge of the bed. Green ooze spread soundlessly from underneath. Then the bed trembled and Gabe unfurled his spiked tail. He was darling it to guess where he pop up. I shivered. So, you had some substitute monsters tonight, Gabe said, sharpening claws on my bedpost. Were you scared? And Gabe started tapping. I could tell if he wanted to know if I still needed him. No other monster can scare me like you, I giggled, diving under my cover and pulling them up tight. Through the blanket, I heard Gabe's soft, comforting snort. I knew it. We're made for each other, he growled. When my blanket started to slip off the bed, I knew Gabe was ready to eat. Now if you please stick out your foot, he said, I'd like to nibble on your pinky. I yanked my blanket back up and scrunched my feet in so Gabe couldn't get them. Those two tonight, but you can have this, I offered, pushing a pillow off the bed. I didn't even hear it hit the floor. Gabe was back. The ooze was perfect. Everything was back to normal. I shivered again. I'll be sleeping in no time. This book is I Need My Monster, and he ducked under his bed and grabbed a note and said, "Gone fishing back in a week." And all these substitute monsters, like with horns sticking out, and with one that he fell back and laughed about. That was so funny. I laughed too. And it was blue, and he had an unusual long tongue, and he had one with silky fur with very long claws, and then and there was also one with jagged claws. And then what I liked about the book is when the ooze came out of the mouth, and I thought it was pretty funny. Bye.